Hi, this is Giselle Science, and I'll be going over the plans to adapt to risk for the Bahamas. So, first, I wanted to assess the damage caused by Hurricane Dorian in 2019 in order to come up with the best plan of action in terms of what we need to look out for. From using GIS imaging, you can see when we take a closer look that the land around the Bahamas has become inundated by water. And a study actually estimated that as much as 3,000 square kilometers of the Bahamas became completely flooded. And you can also see this extensive flooding at the Grand Bahama Island. Here's the before and after. So now that we understand the risks that we're dealing with, what can be adequately done to adapt to them? There are a few geographic attributes that we can alter for this cause. First, restoring mangroves and coral reefs along the coastlines of the islands can help dissipate the energy from the incoming waves, which helps reduce their impact before they reach inland areas. Constructing seawalls, levees, and comprehensive drainage systems can also counteract the risk of flooding during a hurricane. And to reduce the impact of high wind speeds and minimize destruction, I found the idea of creating a windbreak to be promising. So this can involve planting a dense forest around inhabited areas of the Bahamas, with the trees serving to buffer the impact of strong winds, thereby reducing infrastructural damage and protecting human life. Next, we can also consider the infrastructural design of buildings to be resistant against hurricane damage. So, for example, implementing wind-resistant roofs, windows, and doors can help keep people who are sheltering themselves in times of an emergency. It can help keep them as safe as possible, as well as strengthening the foundations of buildings to make sure that they are anchored down and not budging during a hurricane. And another interesting idea that can be incorporated into our adaptation plan are aerodynamically designed buildings. So essentially, buildings can be constructed with a more rounded, narrow shape to cut through wind more easily and prevent destruction. And lastly, elevating buildings in flood-prone areas can also help prevent damage from rising water levels. In addition to these reinforcements, it is super important to regularly maintain and inspect these structures. We never know when a hurricane will strike, but we can always ensure we are prepared at any given time with the necessary up-to-date reinforcements to protect the population. And while we've discussed several proactive approaches to hurricane adaptation and preparation, the most effective preventative measure is to tackle the root cause of these intensifying weather events, which is climate change. By consistently striving to meet our climate action targets set out in the international frameworks like the Paris Agreement and the Sustainable Development Goals, we could potentially reduce the frequency and severity of such natural disasters.